What's up, guys? This is the NFL Saturday Football Week 11 NFL. So let's jump right into it. Thursday, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Pittsburgh, they have a really interesting shot right now. They started the season 1-4. They won their last 4 games to go 5-4. They're actually right in that wild card spot right now, that last spot. So if they can keep winning, they should be able to get in. I take on Cleveland. Pitt's coming off a nice big win against the Los Angeles Rams, 17-12. Mason Rudolph passed for 242, 2 touchdowns. They only ran for 42 yards, so they gotta get that going. They did have 2 turnovers, but the defense, man, had 4 sacks, 4 turnovers, and a fumble return for a touchdown. And then Cleveland actually had a big win against Buffalo, 19-16. Baker Mayfield, 238 passing, 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, 116. They put up 368 yards. I expect this to be a pretty close game, but I really like Pittsburgh. I've been liking Mason Rudolph. Minkah Fitzpatrick should be up for Defensive Play of the Year. Just in his 4 or 5 games at Pittsburgh, he's got, 5 interceptions, a fumble recovery, 3 touchdowns on defense. So, I don't know. They look really good. So I'm going to go Pitt in this game against Cleveland. All right, jump into Sunday. Dallas and Detroit. Dallas, they coming off a 28-24 loss to the Vikings. Dak Prescott, though, it wasn't his fault for losing. He passed for 397 yards, 3 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 11 catches for 147 and a touchdown. Randall Cobb had 6 catches for 106 and a touchdown. They only ran for 50 yards, though, and that was part of the problem. They put up 443 yards of offense. Detroit's coming off a loss to Chicago, 20-13. Jeff Driscoll started in place of Matthew Stafford. He wasn't bad, though. 269 passing, a touchdown pick, plus 37 rushing. Their defense did have 5 sacks. Stafford, I think, is questionable for this game. Either way, I'm going to go with Dallas. I still really like Dallas this year. Their offense is good. Dak's playing really well. I'm going to go Dallas in that one. All right, then Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Huge for playoff implications. Jacksonville, I think, is 4-5, and Indianapolis is 5-4. They're both right there with Pittsburgh, who's 5-4 for the wild card spot. And if Jacksonville wants to get in, they need this win. They're coming off a bye. Last game, though, was a 26-3 loss to the Texans. Minshew was okay, 309 passing, but he threw 2 picks. They turned over 4 times. You can't do that. Indianapolis, they lost to Miami, though, 16-12. Jacoby Brissett was hurt. Brian Hoyer came in, 18 of 39, not good. 204, not good. 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions, terrible. Their defense did have 3 sacks and 2 turnovers. They missed the extra point, though, which late in the game they had to go for a touchdown instead of trying to tie with a field goal, which they couldn't do. So Brissett may or may not be back. Either way, I'm going to go with Jacksonville here. I really do like Brissett, but Jacksonville, this will be a pretty low scoring and defensive game. And I just really like, I don't know, this might come down to a field goal. It might come down to a 17-14 or 19-17, kind of weird low-scoring score, but I'll go Jacksonville. All right, Buffalo, Miami. Buffalo, they have that number 1 wild card spot right now. They want to keep it. They lost, though, to Cleveland 19-16. Brandon Allen played. He wasn't bad, 266 passing, plus 2 rushing touchdowns. Or not Brandon Allen, Josh Allen. Miami, they beat Indianapolis 16-12. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 169 rush, passing, a touch, and a pick. Not good, but he did have a rushing touchdown. They only had 229 yards, a turnover twice, where the defense came through with three turnovers, and they helped Indianapolis miss the extra point. So that was a pretty big win for the wild card race that Miami had. But I'm gonna go Buffalo here. I think Buffalo is a good team this year. Then you got Denver and Minnesota. This is kind of big especially for Minnesota, for a wild card spot and to keep pace with Green Bay, maybe to win the division. Denver's coming off a bye. Their last game, though, they did beat Cleveland 24-19. Brandon Allen played in that game, 193 passing, 2 touchdowns. Noah Fant, 3 catches, 115 and a touchdown. Whereas where Minnesota, they're coming from an awesome game, awesome win against the Dallas, 28-24. Kirk Cousins has been lighting it up the past 4 or 5 games. He had 220 passing, 2 touchdowns. They had 364 yards. Dalvin Cook had 97 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and had 86 or something receiving yards. So he's They're playing well. I'm going to go Minnesota here. I think Minnesota is a real possible Super Bowl contender. All right, New Orleans and Tampa Bay. New Orleans got killed by Atlanta, weirdly, 26-9. Drew Brees passed for 287. Michael Thomas had 13 catches for 152 yards. They only ran for 52 rushing yards. They had 12 penalties in the game, and they didn't score a touchdown. They haven't scored. They had 3 field goals in the game, and they got killed. Tampa Bay's coming off a nice, kind of back and forth win against Arizona, 30-27. Jameis Winston 358 and a touchdown, but he threw 2 more picks, of course. They put up 457 yards, but they had 3 turnovers. They need to stop that, especially against New Orleans. They can't turn over once and expect to win. Defense did force 2 turnovers. I'm going to go New Orleans here. I think New Orleans bounced back. I think, unfortunately, my Buccaneers suck. Oh, fucking Winston. You let Hargreaves go, but not Winston. I'm going to go New Orleans. All right, the Jets in Washington. The Jets, weirdly enough, they beat the Giants. That was kind of a surprise to me. They beat them 34-27. Sam Darnold, 230 passing and a touchdown. Defense had 6 sacks, 2 turnovers, and a fumble return for a touchdown. Where Washington, they're coming off a bye. They lost 24-9 in Buffalo. Haskins had his first start, 144 passing. Peterson did run for 108. Haskins is going to be starting the rest of the year. I think the Jets will win this one. I like Haskins, but Washington kind of sucks. Maybe Haskins can show something, but I don't know. But the Jets have at least shown competitiveness. So I got the Jets there. All right, Atlanta, Carolina. This is pretty big for Carolina if they want to keep pace for a wild card spot. Atlanta's coming from a 26-9 win over New Orleans. Matt Ryan, 182 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They ran for 143 yards, which is huge. Defense had 6 sacks in that game against Drew Brees. Whereas Carolina, they're coming off a close loss to Green Bay, 24-16. Kyle Allen, 307 passing, a touchdown pick. Christian McCaffrey, still MVP candidate, ran for 108 and a touchdown. DJ Moore, 9 catches, 120. They put up 401 yards, but they turned over twice, which was key. One of the turnovers led to a touchdown drive. This is going to be a close game because Atlanta we know they had the firepower. They just showed it against New Orleans. I'm going to say Carolina bounces back here. Their defense is really solid. I'm going to say Christian gets going. Carolina hasn't made too many mistakes this year. So I'm going to say Carolina edges them. But that'll be really close. It's a very important game for playoff implications. All right, this is a huge game for AFC playoff implications. Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Houston, I believe they're leading their division by a game. Baltimore is leading their division, but this could be huge for playoff or a bye. Both of them, Baltimore I think is second behind the Patriots, and then Houston is 1 game behind them. If Houston can beat them and even it up and get that tiebreaker over them, that would be huge for them. Houston's coming off a bye. They beat Jacksonville 26-3. Deshaun Watson 22-28, 201, 2 touchdowns plus 37 rushing. Carlos Hyde went on for 160 rushing yards. They put up 410 yards of offense. Their defense had 4 sacks and 4 turnovers. Baltimore killed Cincinnati 49-13. Lamar Jackson, dude, 15 of 17, 223 passing, 3 touchdown passes, plus 65 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. He had a perfect passer rating of 158.3. That's his second one this season. Most quarterbacks go in their entire career without one. He's done it twice this year. Defense, awesome. 3 turnovers, an interception return for a touchdown, and a fumble return for a touchdown. This is a huge, huge game. Both dynamic quarterbacks, both really, really good offenses. This is kind of tough because Lamar's been awesome, but Deshaun Watson, man, Deshaun Watson is really good. I gotta go with Baltimore. God, this is a big game. I actually think Houston might win, but I'm going to kind of hedge my bets here, go with logic. Baltimore, I think, has been playing better overall. This is going to be really, really close. This may come down to a last-second touchdown field goal, a last-second missed field goal, like a goal line kind of stand sort of thing. Either way, either against Watson or against Jackson. But I'll go Baltimore there. Arizona and San Francisco. Arizona's coming out with 30-27 loss to Tampa Bay. Kyler Murray was great though, 324 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 38 rushing yards. Christian Kirk went off, 6 catches, 130 438 yards and 3 touchdowns. They put up 417, turnover twice. Defense had 4 sacks, 3 turnovers, but they did give up 457 yards. Where San Francisco coming off a fucking awesome game on Monday Night Football against Seattle. They lost in overtime, 27-24. Garoppolo, 248, touchdown, a pick. Deebo Samuel, 8 catches, 112. They only ran for 87 yards, which could have helped them a lot. They probably would have won them the game if they could have gotten a little more running game. They turned over 3 times. The defense had 5 sacks, 4 turnovers, and a fumble return for a touchdown. These 2 teams played only 2 weeks ago, and Arizona almost came back to win. They lost only 28-25. I think this might be pretty close to them, but I'm going to go 49ers here. I think they're actually a really good team. Even though they lost to Seattle, I still think they're a Super Bowl contender. And I'm going to go with the Niners here, doing it again against Arizona. All right, Cincinnati at Oakland. Cincinnati got killed by Baltimore 49-13. Ryan Finley started, 167 passing, 1 touchdown. Joe Mixon actually ran for 114 yards. They ran for 157, but they had 3 turnovers in that game. Whereas Oakland's coming off a big win. They're 1 out of that wild card spot. They're coming off a big win over the Chargers, 26-24. Derek Carr, 218 passing, 1 touchdown. Defense had 5 sacks, 3 turnovers, and Eric Harris had 2 picks and a touchdown himself, a touchdown return. I'm going to go Oakland here. Cincinnati's terrible. Oakland's actually pretty decent. They are trying to get into that wild card spot, and they're only 1 game out of the division, so they really need that win, and I think they will get it. All right, New England and Philly. This is pretty big for both teams. Both teams coming off byes. New England is leading their conference right now in the AFC with 8 wins. They lost their last game 37-20 to Baltimore. Brady, 285 passing, a touchdown, a pick. They only ran for 74 yards. They had 2 turnovers. Their defense had 2 turnovers. They allowed 372 yards, but 206 within the first 60 minutes. Then they actually did play well against Lamar Jackson. The rest of the game, they gave up only 166 total yards and only 13 offensive points. Baltimore ended up getting, in the second half, getting a fumble return for a touchdown. So I think they will play each other again, Baltimore and New England, in the AFC Championship game, and I think New England will win because it'll probably be in Foxborough. And Belichick showed in game he kind of figured Lamar Jackson out, and he's gonna have something ready for them. Philly, they're coming off a bye. They're coming off a 22-14 win over Chicago. Carson Wentz, 239 and a touchdown. Zach Ertz, 9 catches, 103 and a touchdown. They ran for 146. Their defense had 3 sacks and only allowed 164 yards in that game. They are actually tied with Dallas right now with 5 wins on the top of the division. This would be huge for Philly, for their playoff hopes, and for the other AFC teams trying to catch New England. Especially Baltimore, who's only 1 game behind and has that head-to-head tiebreaker over New England. That being said, I'm going to go New England here. I think they're pissed off about the Ravens. Philly, they're
LA Rams.
okay. They may limp into the playoffs in a wild card, but that's about it.
Passing.
3 passing touchdowns. Rams coming for a loss, 17-12 to Pittsburgh. Goff, 243 passing, threw 2 picks, a turnover 4 times. Their defense played pretty well, 3 sacks, 2 turnovers, fumble return for a touchdown, and a safety in the game. I think the Rams bounce back, though. I think they should be able to beat Chicago and keep in pace for a possible wild card spot. And then the Monday night game, another really big one, KC and the Chargers. KC, they are 1 game up on Oakland in the division, and they're right in the middle of it for a wild card spot. KC lost, though, 35-32 to Tennessee. Mahomes, though, first game back from injury, 446 passing, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 157 yards and a touchdown. They put up 530 yards. Defense had 4 sacks, but they also gave up a bunch of yards and the 35 points. Whereas the Chargers, they lost Oakland 26-24. Phillip Rivers, 207 passing, 2 touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions. Melvin Gordon ran for 108, a touchdown. They turned over 3 times. Defense had 3 sacks. I know allowed 278, but those turnovers cost them. It should be a pretty close game, but I'm going to go to the Chiefs here. I think the Chiefs are better overall. All right, so check out all my other videos and subscribe, like, leave comments. Peace.
Lost all hope and wake up, try to find my focus. Meet someone new, but the walls ain't broken. It's a never-ending circle I'm in. Time's slow when you're on your own, and just seeing that name on your phone, and phone rings, not you, heart slow, man. Why you gotta switch up the plan?